Link down below as always if you want to read this on your own. This is a pretty big update. Basically, it addresses stability and performance issues as well as gameplay changes based on the feedback and suggestions. A hefty change being implemented is the introduction of crossplay between consoles, allowing Xbox players to join PlayStation players within Mornstead. They will have more information to follow regarding the reintroduction of crossplay between consoles and PC, but their plan is to enable it this Thursday. They hear you and have decided to roll out some fundamental changes to ensure everyone continues to enjoy the new Game Plus experience, including both those who have relished the No Vestige challenge and those who would rather they were still present throughout the world. I don't even know what that means because honestly, haven't played the game yet, still waiting to get it. From today's patch onward, when you complete your initial playthrough, you'll be presented with a new option before embarking on your next playthrough. You can either progress directly to the next consecutive new game, i.e., if you've just completed New Game 1, New Game Plus 1, you would move on to New Game Plus 2. Or you can replay the same current New Game Plus at the same difficulty, albeit retaining your character, items, and progression, but resetting the entire world, including NPCs and quest lines. This will allow trophy hunters and completionists to seek out any outstanding tasks without having to contend with increased difficulty, should they so choose. A further patch this coming Thursday will see further update made to New Game Plus mode. Instead of removing all vestiges, as it currently does, New Game Plus 1 will only see a few disappear, while keeping the key locations intact. In New Game Plus 2, a few more will disappear, and then 3, all but the main hub Skyrest Bridge and Adir Shrine vestige, will disappear. This way, our initial vision remains intact, but it's more of a gradual adaptation awaiting those who seek increasing levels of challenge. Lastly, as a follow-up to the popular announcement made during last week's stream, we can confirm we've started designing the New Game Plus modifier system, allowing players to fully customize their New Game Plus experience, whether that's retaining all vestiges, keeping just a few, removing them all completely. Is that the fast travel bonfire thing? I don't even know. It'll also include other fun modifiers like a hardcore mode, 1 death equals permadeath, item randomizer, enemy randomizers, etc. The feature set is yet to be fully defined, but their current intention is to release the modifier system before the end of the year. Well, that's really cool. Today, as a means of helping with enemy density, they're improving their leashing system, further limiting how far enemies will pursue players from their spawn point. This helps prevent large crowds of enemies from relentlessly pursuing the player when rushing through a level. They aim to have further refinements in Thursday's patch, including reducing the number of enemies present in areas where players most struggle. These enemies will be removed in your initial playthrough, but will remain in New Game Plus, in keeping with the more challenging experience players seek. Additionally, they are going to tweak some crowd behaviors so enemies will not swarm players as often. Multiple enemies will no longer land hits at the same time, while enemies will also be a little less aggressive when swarming the player in greater numbers. As they explained in the Q&A stream, they're targeting to deploy this ASAP for all platforms, but they want to ensure certain GPU stability levels for PC players before it happens. They are pleased to confirm they are activating crossplay on consoles this coming Monday, with a plan to activate it on all platforms this coming Thursday. Mob density activated the leashing system again, in which enemies will stop following you after X meters, case-by-case scenario. New Game Plus, again, added the new option of New Game Plus, which resets the game world, allows you to restart with current character level in the same world. Crossplay, we've already talked about, and it's going to be more stabilized. 3D photo mode, sometimes the camera of a saved 3D scene in 3D photo mode was in the wrong position. AI fixed enemies that could sometimes be spawned in a T-pose at the lower part of the manse. Tweaked the nav mesh on a small section of Lower Kalrath to help AI navigate better in that complex environment setup. Trapper's traps can now be destroyed with ranged options such as arrows, grenades, magic, and more. Ruiners now have a higher chance of triggering their fearful charge. They also have Ruiners now aim their shield fire attacks at players more accurately, so beware. Parasites now follow their hosts more quickly to prevent them from straying too far when the player pulls the host far away. If they're blocked, they'll teleport to the host to aid players who are siphoning them by staying close. They found an issue where perched pilgrims could sometimes shoot through certain structures. This issue has been fixed. Crossbowmen have undergone additional adjustments to their behavior in order to make them smarter without increasing their difficulty. This should result in a more engaging and balanced gameplay experience when encountering these enemies in the game. A nav mesh in the cistern has been adjusted to assist an invisible archer in targeting the player more efficiently. The aggro ranges of the Deep Sparrow, Infernal Enchantress, and Mendacious Visage have been revised to prevent them from pursuing players after losing sight. The Abbess and the Conflagrant Seer will now refrain from using their abilities against the player if the player is not in plain sight. The worms spawned by the Mendacious Visage can now be dodged more easily. There was an instance of a pilgrim at Pilgrim's Perch who could see the player from a very far distance. Now they have an astigmatism and they see really blurry. Now he'll only notice the player when they get closer. Fix has been implemented for archers to keep the arrow in place while applying vertical offset. This was a visual fix for archers that when aiming at you from slopes, the arrow was being incorrectly displaced. An update's been made to the look-at behavior for NPCs to prevent neck snapping when the player gets close to them. Some stuff to the audio. I'm trying to zoom through because I have to admit I got a lot of stuff to do, unfortunately. So the audio, all there. Some balancing stuff here that we've got. Balancing pass on New Game Plus for bosses and regions. Almost endgame New Game Plus. The curve was too steep. Read the rest of this here on your own really quick. You could pause it. Bosses, same thing. Go ahead. Pause that really quick. For collisions on some umbral platforms and the cisterns have been fixed to improve the navigation of certain enemies. Again, you could go ahead and pause that right there and read it. Should be good. Moving on. Go ahead. Pause that if you want. You can read that really quick, just so you can kind of skim through it there, because these are some long patch notes and I got so much to do and I'm running out of time. Go ahead and read that. And lastly for this here. Customization removed the root bone influence from the Stalker's hunter body and legs to improve visuals. Holy Archer character model has been adjusted. Swelling of the skirt part of the marksman armor has been removed to improve visuals and physics. Again, some stuff to the gameplay right here. Go ahead and pause that if you will. Moving on. The level design. We've got a few changes to that as well. Moving on to the next section. Go ahead and pause that. Now we've got some multiplayer changes right here. And Sparky got some additional lines of dialogues for NPCs. Got some optimizations here. Go ahead and pause that. Hopefully the Umbral or whatever is better optimized as a whole when you're playing. This is all under optimization again. Go ahead and pause that. And performance. There. Quests. In one of the characters' quests, there was a big door that would disappear. Now, when it disappears, it does so with style, as we've added moth particle systems to the disappearance. And we've got some stability stuff there. Go ahead and pause that and read it if you want. Yeah, like I said, there is a plethora of stuff here. Actually, that won't help if I go too far Go ahead and pause that and read it. All right, we're good. Do this last section here. Pause that. Then for the UI, moving on to the next section for the UI, right here. VFX. And now we're going to have visuals, performance optimization. You think that's all the same. Right, you paused it there for the visuals. Let's move on. Oh, there. Optimization, multiple performance improvements. Simply put, on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, that was a huge thing because it was performing worse from what I've been told by my peeps on YouTube compared to PS5. The UI fixed the boss's health bar to be better centered on the screen. Multiple performance improvements to PS5. Fixed the nanite visual mesh on the 3D gallery background. And again, if you've already read, there's another patch due this Thursday. And today is... Honestly, I don't even know what today is. Oh, it's Tuesday. So in another couple of days. So that's pretty damn good. And that was a fairly long video. 11 minutes. It would have been closer to 20. And I got shit to do. Thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. You didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. We'll bend it in half, we'll twist it, we'll break it off in your ass, and we'll also empty your bank account of all this money so I can go ahead apparently on eBay and buy all of this shit that supposedly I was looking at. But I wasn't. I wasn't looking at that stuff. I'm just glad it's not showing me like, you know, women's underwear or some shit like that, because I'd have a lot of explaining to do. Okay, if you want to subscribe, did I already say that? You can, and if not, whatever. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.